Hey, it's Friday. That means it's our People Like You podcast of the week. My name is Emmanuel Osasir, your online personal trainer and wellness coach. And today I am met with a very special guest, Mr. Kris Bella. So me and Kris have known each other for a while now. We met through mutual friends, and he's somebody that's very active right now. Does Jiu Jitsu, very athletic, used to break dance, all sorts of stuff. So he's been an athlete his whole life. But currently right now he's on a regular workout routine that we just briefly finished talking about. And so we're going to kind of go through his journey and see where he started from and how he got to the point where he's at right now. So go ahead, Kris, and tell us a little bit about yourself. And
hey, how you doing? My name is Kris, but they call me Spilla P. I'm originally from Oxnard, California, but I live up here in Bakersfield, California, y'all. Yeah, it's all good. Just living the life, loving it, thanking and praising God while I'm doing it. You know.
There you go. So how long have you been working out for?
Can't really put a time on it because I'm going to say it started from like when I was real young, you know, just being around my uncles and stuff like that. Uncles were ball players, baseball, football, couple track, basketball, you know, and it was always like, man, I wanted to be big and strong like them. You know, they just, you know, like you said, you always want to be like the people you hang around.
Right.
So it was like, you know, if I saw them doing push-ups, pull-ups, and lifting some kind of weight or something like that, you know, I wanted to get out there with them.
Right.
So like, yeah, I couldn't do what they were doing, so they would, okay, do this, and I would just keep doing it. Yeah, they had to show me that tough love, like get out of here. But you know, I just kept coming back. So they seen, you know, they just seen I was interested. So,
so a product of your environment then. And,
yeah.
Did you, once you got older and branched off by yourself, did you find it as something that you had your own motivation to do on your own, or how did that work? As you got older.
I'm gonna honestly say, like, yeah, it came from them, and you know, there was other things that, like, I just saw, like, of the world that just was like, I don't want to be like that. You know, you look around and, you know, nothing towards anybody, but it's just like, you know, I always look to promote, like, a better myself. So it's like, you know, and it rubs off on people.
Right.
So it's like, you know, you go around and you see, like, the people who are, you know, overweight or obese,
right,
shall I say. And you're like, you know, I don't want to be like that because I don't want to slow myself down. It's nothing towards them.
Right.
But it was just like, you know, I used that to motivate me.
Right. So you're active. You're in a relationship. You have a whole bunch of things going on. You teach. You work hours and everything. How is your regular workout routine kind of developed into how it impacts other areas of your life? Does it give you more energy? Has it given you a new mindset, work ethic, help you with your regimen and routine?
I'm gonna have to say, like, we can take this to starting with like Jiu Jitsu.
Right.
Yeah, you know, I've been, you know, play sports and everything like that, and you know, working out. But I feel like when I really got into it, as far as like being focused, you know, not having to have that gym partner, like I can go in and get it done by myself, you know. I started from Jiu Jitsu because it was like, in the beginning it was Jiu Jitsu, like everybody learns and everything like that, but then it's like when you start living it, it's like everything, you know, is around it. Like you learn it, you learn something, you get better at it, you study it more, and you start to find what works for you. You know, so it's like I take that, and it's like, and everything I do is that's what it is. You know, it's like, it's how they say, you know, a way of life. It's like when you really passionately love something, it becomes like how you live. You know, so from, you know, the eating to the, you know, the family to the, you know, working out to the job, you know, and then just other activities that you want to do. It's just you find yourself like going through that. You know, it's a mindset. You know. You find what interests you, and you find a love for it, and you know, you figure out how to be better every day.
Right.
You know.
So yeah, and to touch on that, I know I've heard stories of a lot of people that have gotten into jiu-jitsu and maybe went in with anger issues or abandonment, all sorts of like internal, intrinsic struggles and everything. And what I've noticed with a lot of these people that go into that field is that they go in rough and rugged, but then it's kind of like how you just kind of sand something that's sharp down. It kind of sands you and smooths you out gradually along the way. And I know that you're a process-minded person. I believe you're a brown belt now, but whenever I ask you, when are you gonna have the ceremony for the black belt? You always tell me, it's not about that. You're very process-minded. So, what are some other areas, or let me say it this way, how have you seen some changes from when you first started off with jiu-jitsu to now, just personal?
Personally, I take this as like every time I advance in a belt, that's a new chapter of my life.
Right.
When I started out as a white belt, it's just like you said. I came in, I was rough around the edges. I had, this, going against me, and I guess you could say in some form or another I was weak. I was insecure. So, I was just like, there was always an excuse in the beginning. There was always something easily to anger me in the beginning. Like, I was in fear of defeat, You get on the mat and you see everybody, you see all the more experienced peoples, and it's like, how they always say, it's like nobody wants to start from the beginning. So there's that fear. It's like you come from this background, that background. You may be like, high caliber person, right? A superstar athlete in this category, right? But then starting something new, you hesitate to do it because you're like, man, I'm a superstar over here. Why I need to go over here for it? So, not saying like I was a superstar, but it's like, I guess you could say I was a known feature in other things.
Right.
So it's like coming over here, it's like, I just, it's kind of like pride thing. So it's like, I get in there, it's like a little pride issue. And then coach pulled me to the side one day because, in that pride issue and plus other things I was battling at the time, I was like, he was like, where you been? I had things I had to take care of. And, I had this, that, and the other, which ultimately, if you think about it, it was an excuse. So he told me, he says, here I am, I'm seeing a guy who had, in my eyes at the time, to the narrow-minded side of me, a guy who had everything. He had this, he had that, he had a family, he had school, a jiu-jitsu school, he had people looking up to him. He straight up told me, he said, I have more problems than you can ever have. And I'm looking at him, scratching my head like, man, what you talking about? That's not true. I didn't say that to him, but I'm like, just listening, and I'm like, man, what are you talking about?
Right.
And he says, I wouldn't wish my life upon you. He's all, but I'm going to tell you something that you can take with you and stick with me till this day. Says, getting here every day. Seek to be better every time you step on this mat. He's all, because the better you are on this mat, the better you are when you walk out these doors. He says, if you go at everything in life, what he means when he says outside his doors, like you do on the mat. Like, okay, when you first get in there, you're going to get armbarred like, I don't know how many times. There's people who've been there grinding a little bit longer than you. Yeah, you may feel like you're big and bad, strong. There's a thing, excuse me for a second, there's a thing. You go in there, say you like 200 pounds, you're heavyweight, right? You see this like 135 pound dude. And I'm going there, I'm gonna crush this dude, right? Don't let it be a kid, because that's gonna make you feel even worse, right? Go up in there, you're like, oh, I'm bigger, I'm stronger, yeah, I lift weights, and blah, blah, blah. You get in there, and this little person just ties you up like you tie your shoes every day. Lace you up, and you ain't coming loose, double knot and everything, super right? Humbling, you got, oh no, it's more than humbling. If honestly, it's like if you was in a room by yourself, you'd probably cry, because your pride was just crushed, right? So then you get in there, you're like, nah, that didn't happen. Let me go at it again. I'm gonna give me him again. You go and you get him again, and it happens worse. Because what happened? You try harder.
Right.
He puts a little bit more effort than he put. He was being nice to you the first time.
Yeah.
Then you want to get strong, and it gets stronger back.
Right.
And going back into the story, it's just like, how they say, it's like, the more you put into it, the more you get out of it.
Right.
That's what happens, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
So, with that, back to the story of Coach Tommy Little, by the way, South Valley Jiu Jitsu. Gotta give a shout out. I ain't trying to get choked.
There you go.
He just told me, like, you get in here and you get better every day, right? And it prepares you for what you face when you go outside. Whether it's a bill, whether it's people, negative energy, insecurity, lack of confidence, and everybody wants to take that big jump. Nah, you just take it a step at a time. You go in there the first couple times, you get armbarred like 10 times. Every time you come back, it lessens because you learn. Yeah, you get bit, you get in that trap. I ain't gonna put my arm there again. So you go back and you're like, oh, I was here before. Well, let me turn this way. It still happens, but every time you go at it, it just gets less and less and less until that time it happens naturally to where it's not there. Take that outside. Everybody takes a rise. Everybody takes a fall.
Right.
First couple times you take a fall, you don't know what to do. Then you, like I said, you get help, develop new skills, and you just keep going about it. And it's like and then next thing you know, when you take that fall, the fall's not as hard, even though it seems like that to other people, because it's like you just prepare yourself.
Right.
That's
a good point. So, to touch on that, I think people get into jiu-jitsu, people get into working out, people get into these disciplines, because they're all disciplines, right?
Yeah.
They get into it for different reasons, but I think one of the most powerful reasons to get into a discipline is when you're rugged and you just need, and sometimes you may not even notice that you need like a little bit of honing in and learning how to take that step-to-step process that you were talking about. So I think that's definitely one of the most powerful ways as far as doing something that's practical, but that you can also take outdoors and apply to everyday life. So with that being said, I'll segue kind of into nutrition, and we can kind of stay on the jiu-jitsu topic.
Yeah,
but with jiu-jitsu, I know that it's high energy, you're running around, you're sweating, I've done it myself. You need to eat a certain way, right?
Not necessarily true. It's just like everything. I mean, like I said, every kind of workout, every kind of sport go hand in hand. Every kind of art, martial art, however you want to call it, goes hand in hand. It's at the end of the day, it's all about how you feel. Like, I'm gonna say the only thing that's different, that you really got to pay more attention to in heavy detail about how you eat, is when you're bodybuilding. Not necessarily powerlifting, bodybuilding, right? Because it's like you want to structure the skull, the body a different way, right?
Yeah, right.
So it's just like when you're going through the jiu-jitsu, it's more about, okay, I feel this way when I eat these things.
Right.
I got high energy when I eat these things. I feel sluggish when I eat these things, right? You take that to basketball, football, whatever, right? Those things that make you feel good, that's what you're going to use,
right.
That's how I like really base it on.
So your nutrition was pretty much the same across the board, whether it was bodybuilding, jiu-jitsu, dancing, it was just...
Yeah, same difference. It's like, as far as the nutrition wise, but your amounts, that's what makes the difference. On dancing, basketball, depending on what weight bracket you want to be in, jiu-jitsu, it's going to be a plus or minus in eating.
Right.
A little bit more clean, a little bit more, because you eat these, you're going to be a little less agile, but you're going to have the weight you want, right? Basketball, track, breakdance and stuff like that. Breakdancing kind of really don't pay attention to it. It's just like you're just getting there and practice.
Right, right.
And that's more like, gymnastics. You just learn your body.
Right.
So it's just like I said, take it to a car, automobile, motorcycle, however you want to use it. What kind of gas you gonna put in there when you want high performance? You're gonna put it 87, 89, or 91.
Right.
You know what I mean? You want to get a little bit more advanced.
Yeah.
Oh man, I'm already putting this 91 in here, but I want a little bit more.
Right.
That's when you get into the vitamins and the pre-workouts and proteins and stuff like that, because you want that high power for your automobile.
Right.